Briefing content. 1. Academic publishing has long been a lucrative industry, with many large publishers enjoying profit margins between 30% and 40% annually. This long-standing business model is very robust. Articles written and reviewed by scholars are locked behind paywalls, forcing universities and research institutions to pay high subscription fees to access them. 2. In December 2023, former New York Times editor James Bennet published a shocking article in The Economist, pointing out that the leadership of the New York Times is losing control over its principles, leading to apparent bias in reporting. He identified factors contributing to the liberal bias at the New York Times, including demand-driven bias, providing slanted reporting to attract readers, and supply-driven bias, the ideological leanings of owners or staff. 3. As an economist, a researcher analyzed over 100,000 articles from the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal, along with 22 million related tweets, and found that supply-driven bias is a significant factor. This means that newspapers prioritize certain articles on their front pages based on their own political preferences rather than solely on reader interest. 4. This finding suggests that media bias is not merely a reflection of reader demand but also reflects the ideological leanings of publications. This affects which stories are prominently reported and which narratives dominate public discourse, which is crucial for understanding how competition in the media industry influences bias. 5. If bias primarily stems from supply, then increased competition may serve a corrective function, as media organizations in a competitive market are motivated to attract the broadest audience, making bias detrimental to business. Conversely, if bias primarily arises from demand, more competition may exacerbate the issue, as media organizations compete to cater to specific audience preferences. In summary, this research indicates that media bias is more rooted in supply than in demand, which is significant for understanding the impact of competition in the media industry on bias. Briefing content. December 22, 2024. 1. Recent research by scientists suggests that the interbreeding between modern humans, Homo sapiens, and Neanderthals may have occurred later than previously thought. Genetic analysis indicates that gene flow between the two species took place approximately 45,000 to 47,000 years ago. This discovery provides new clues for exploring human evolutionary history. 2. In May 2023, a study in the United States found that different COVID-19 vaccines offered varying levels of protection within 6 months of vaccination. Antibody levels were significantly higher in women and non-smokers compared to men and smokers. Smokers had antibody levels that were even 240% lower than non-smokers, indicating that personal factors can influence vaccine efficacy. 3. In April 2023, a financial disclosure report from Judge Matthew Kaczmarek of the Northern District of Texas revealed that he owns stock in a company whose name has not been disclosed, accounting for over 85% of his personal wealth. This raised questions about potential conflicts of interest. Kaczmarek stated that the company name has received court-approved exemptions. Overall, these articles cover recent research advancements in human evolution, COVID-19 vaccine efficacy, and judicial conflicts of interest, providing new insights and clues on relevant scientific issues that deserve attention. Briefing content. In July 1959, National Geographic magazine featured a photograph on its cover for the first time, marking a new era for the publication. This issue also included a special article and maps about Alaska, reflecting the historic event of the state joining the United States in January 1959. In July 2018, scientists discovered a 99-million-year-old amber specimen in Myanmar, which contained the oldest known snake fossils. This discovery not only fills a gap in the evolutionary history of snakes, but also provides valuable information about ancient ecological environments. In January 2011, Prohibition Party presidential candidate Jim Hedges was interviewed, sharing his views on the party and his political experiences. As the only person to win for the Prohibition Party in the 21st century, he discussed the party's history, current status, and its positioning in today's political landscape. He noted that while a return to prohibition seems unlikely, the party continues to spread historical lessons and uphold its principles and values. In summary, these articles address the historical transformation of National Geographic magazine, new discoveries in paleontology, and the current state and future of a small political party, offering rich content and substantial information that merits attention. December 22, 2024 Briefing. Theme: Forbes magazine reporting. Summary. This briefing synthesizes multiple reports from Forbes magazine, focusing on the following aspects. 1. The latest developments in the 2020 U.S. presidential election. It reported on the polling performance of Democratic candidate Biden and Republican nominee Trump, as well as their campaign activities in key states. It also covered third-party candidates Joe Jorgensen and Pete Buttigieg's proposals for Supreme Court reform. 2. California's wealthiest individuals. The report highlighted the 10 richest people in California, including tech giants like Zuckerberg, Ellison, Page, and Brin, as well as some real estate and manufacturing moguls. It also analyzed the wealthiest counties in California. 3. Tesla CEO Elon Musk, becoming the richest person in America. Musk's net worth has reached $400 billion, surpassing other tech moguls and real estate tycoons. This marks Musk as the wealthiest person in America by the end of 2024. In summary, this briefing comprehensively outlines Forbes magazine's recent important reports on U.S. politics, economy, and technology, highlighting the most valuable information points and providing readers with a thorough and concise summary. Briefing. On December 22, 2024, Fortune magazine reported on significant changes within the Buffett family. Buffett announced that he would leave most of his wealth to a charitable foundation managed by his children, making them some of the most influential philanthropists in the world. Among them, Buffett's daughter Susie will manage the Sherwood Foundation, which is expected to receive a substantial amount of Berkshire Hathaway stock, likely exceeding $18 billion. This will make the Sherwood Foundation one of the most important charitable organizations in Omaha. Although the Buffett family's charitable foundation will eventually be fully distributed over time, the report suggests that the Buffett family and other families associated with Berkshire Hathaway will continue to play a significant role in philanthropy. Leaders of nonprofit organizations in Omaha have welcomed and anticipated this development. In summary, this report highlights the significant philanthropic transition soon to occur within the Buffett family and its far-reaching implications for Omaha and beyond. The article comprehensively summarizes the background, specifics, and potential impacts of this change, providing readers with a thorough and in-depth understanding. Briefing content. December 22, 2024. Theme: Bloomberg Businessweek magazine. In June 2010, the FBI launched an investigation after hackers exploited a vulnerability to obtain the email addresses of 114,000 iPad users, including government officials and corporate executives. This security breach raised widespread concern. In January 2009, Indian IT services company Satyam Computer Services was embroiled in a major financial fraud scandal. Founder Ramlinga Raju admitted to serious falsifications in the company's financial statements, exaggerating cash reserves and revenue. This incident is regarded as the largest corporate fraud case in India's history, severely damaging the governance image of Indian businesses. The government quickly intervened, replacing Satyam's board of directors and appointing a 3-member independent board. Meanwhile, the Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, also initiated an investigation to restore investor confidence. Additionally, police conducted searches and arrests of those involved. In summary, these two incidents exposed significant vulnerabilities in corporate information security and financial management, prompting widespread concern and reflection across various sectors. Companies need to further strengthen internal controls and improve governance to maintain their reputation and protect investor interests. Briefing. Scientific American magazine special issue focuses on health and science. 1. Social media is flooded with health-related misinformation and exaggerated claims, necessitating rational and critical thinking. 2. Scientific research indicates that basic lifestyle changes, such as moderate exercise, balanced diet, and adequate sleep, can bring significant benefits to physical and mental health, proving to be more valuable than many products claiming to extend life. 3. Metabolic efficiency does not significantly change with age. Dietary structure is key. Ultra-processed foods may have effects on the brain similar to nicotine and alcohol and should be limited. 4. Individual differences lead to variations in disease susceptibility, making protective measures like wearing masks still important for vulnerable groups. Better pain management drugs and targeted cancer therapies are expected to emerge in the future. 5. Regular meditation, avoiding noisy environments, and taking appropriate naps can contribute to mental health. Outdoor activities also serve as a simple and effective way to enhance physical and mental well-being. In summary, this issue of the magazine calls for the rejection of misinformation, a return to fundamental healthy lifestyles, attention to individual differences, and an openness to the development of future medical technologies, aiming for comprehensive physical and mental health. Briefing. Climate change intensifies extreme weather events. Recent research has found a strong link between the rise in global average surface temperature and the increase in hydrometeorological extreme events. NASA scientists analyzed satellite data and discovered that between 2002 and 2021, 1,066 regions worldwide experienced severe droughts or heavy rainfall, with the number of extreme events rising from 3 per year to 4 between 2015 and 2021. The research results indicate that as global warming continues, extreme droughts and heavy rainfall events will become more frequent and severe. This poses challenges for water resource management and flood prevention, and will have far-reaching impacts on agriculture, infrastructure development, and other sectors. Additionally, 2 studies published in Nature found that isoprene gas released by plants can promote the formation of new particulate matter in the upper troposphere, which may be a significant mechanism leading to the presence of large amounts of particulate matter in that region. These particulates can affect cloud formation and properties, and need to be incorporated into climate models. In summary, climate change is exacerbating the occurrence of extreme weather events, presenting severe challenges for water resource management, agriculture, and various sectors, necessitating collaborative efforts to address these issues. Furthermore, the composition of atmospheric particulates and their impact on clouds are also important aspects that require further refinement in climate models. Briefing. 2024 Review. In film, theater, and music, this year has showcased a trend of diversity and innovation, reflecting the development of art on a global scale. However, in the political and social realms, serious divisions and inequalities persist in American society, raising concerns about the apathy and lack of engagement among the younger generation. In news reporting, the acquisition of the Wall Street Journal by Murdoch sparked controversy, yet the New Yorker maintained a high standard of journalism and literary creation. An anonymous young fan journalist drew widespread attention through in-depth reporting on the trial of a famous American rapper, showcasing the public's heightened interest in legal and political events in the new media era. In summary, the year 2024 presents a complex picture of American society, breakthroughs in culture and art, but serious divisions and inequalities in politics and social issues. The rise of new media has also brought about new forms of public engagement, prompting reflections on traditional news reporting models. These trends warrant further attention and analysis. December 22, 2024 Briefing. Theme: Harvard Business Review Journal. Key points. 1. The collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, SVB, has sparked discussions about the composition and tenure of corporate boards. SVB had 5 directors with tenures of less than 3 years, 3 of whom had served for less than 12 months. 7 directors had served for over 13 years, and prior to Thomas King's appointment a few months ago, none had banking experience. 2. The healthcare industry is facing challenges of rising costs and inconsistent quality. Past incremental reform measures have had limited effects, and it is time to adopt a new strategy. The key is to maximize patient value, achieving the best outcomes at the lowest cost. 3. The healthcare system needs to shift from a physician-centered approach to a patient-centered approach, focusing on patient outcomes rather than service volume and revenue. Additionally, there is a need to integrate fragmented healthcare providers and centralize care for specific conditions. 4. Achieving value-based healthcare requires 6 interdependent key elements: organizing around patient conditions rather than physician specialties, measuring costs and outcomes for each patient, establishing bundled pricing for comprehensive care, integrating care across facilities, expanding geographic coverage, and building supportive information technology platforms. 5. Some institutions, such as the Cleveland Clinic and Germany's Schön Klinik, have begun large-scale implementation of value-based healthcare transformation, achieving significant improvements. In summary, the healthcare industry is undergoing a major transformation, shifting from a supply-centered approach to a patient value-centered approach, necessitating systemic changes across multiple aspects. Some pioneers have already achieved positive results, serving as models for other institutions. In 2024, the fashion industry witnessed many noteworthy events. 1. Vogue magazine reviewed the changes in the fashion industry over the past 25 years. Fashion special editor Mark Holgate and senior archive editor Laird Borelli-Person shared their insights from 25 years working at Vogue and Condé Nast, discussing the evolution of designers and fashion shows, particularly Helmut Lang's shift from fashion to art. 2. Designer Vera Wang recalled her experience as a Vogue editor at the age of 22 and discussed the influence of fashion master Polly Mellon on her. Mellon was not only her mentor but also her muse, defining some of the most iconic fashion images of the 20th century. 3. The fashion industry has shifted from being an elite minority to becoming more mainstream, with Polly Mellon playing a key role in this transition. She began at Harper's Bazaar and was later recruited by Diana Vreeland to Vogue. Even when Vera Wang first joined Vogue, Mellon's presence and influence were still significant. 4. The transformation in the fashion industry is reflected not only in designers and fashion shows, but also in the way magazine editors work. The shift from red to beige symbolizes Vogue's transition from the Diana Vreeland era to the Grace Mirabella era. In summary, these articles vividly describe the significant changes in the fashion industry over the past 25 years, highlighting profound transformations in designers, fashion shows, and the working methods of magazine editors, reflecting the industry's shift from elitism to mainstream appeal. The articles underscore the important role of figures like Polly Mellon in this transition, providing readers with deep insights. December 22, 2024 briefing. Theme: Middle East turmoil, British royal fashion, Trump administration, and Billie Eilish's career peak. Key information points. 1. The situation in the Middle East remains unstable, with regime changes in Syria, turmoil in Lebanon, and tensions between Israel and Hamas. Expert Ali Sofan stated that the situation is very dire. The impending Trump administration may exacerbate regional turmoil. 2. Several newly appointed royal fashion designers have received royal accreditation from the British royal family, including the favorite designer of Queen Camilla. The Queen's fashion style has become more mature and composed, reflecting her royal demeanor. 3. Trump plans to nominate his son-in-law Lara Trump to succeed the Florida Senate seat, which has sparked controversy due to Lara's lack of political experience. The Trump administration tends to appoint family members to key positions. 4. Billie Eilish's career continues to soar, with her new album selling well and winning awards at the Oscars. She described this year as filled with friendship, and her personal life has also seen breakthroughs. In summary, this briefing covers multiple hot topics, including the turmoil in the Middle East, British royal fashion, personnel arrangements in the Trump administration, and Billie Eilish's career peak, providing rich content and substantial information for readers. December 22, 2024 briefing. Rolling Stone magazine reporting on the 2016 U.S. presidential election. In July 2016, the U.S. presidential election entered a heated phase. Republican nominee Trump and Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton engaged in fierce competition. Key information points. 1. Republican National Convention. Trump officially received the Republican presidential nomination and chose Pence as his running mate. The convention saw several controversies, such as Melania Trump's speech being accused of plagiarizing Michelle Obama, and Cruz failing to endorse Trump during the convention. 2. Democratic National Convention. Clinton became the first woman to receive a presidential nomination from a major party. Protests erupted from Sanders supporters during the convention. The Muslim couple Khizr and Ghazala Khan delivered a passionate speech, leading to a confrontation with Trump. 3. Reform Party primaries. 2 individuals who previously accepted interviews with WikiLeaks announced their candidacy for the Reform Party presidential nomination: historian Darcy Richardson and businessman Rocky de la Fuente. 4. Former congressman discusses Cruz's convention speech. Former Republican Congressman Tom Tancredo criticized Cruz's failure to support Trump as a mistake. 5. WikiLeaks interviews historic speaker at Democratic Convention. Civil rights activist Sarah McBride became the first transgender person to speak at a major party national convention. In summary, the 2016 U.S. presidential election process was dramatic and eventful. The nominees from both the Republican and Democratic parties engaged in intense competition, while new developments emerged within the Reform Party. The article comprehensively reports on significant events and figures from this period, presenting a vivid political landscape to readers. The following is a briefing based on the provided multiple articles. December 22, 2024 briefing. Key information points. 1. Hackers have discovered a way to jailbreak digital license plates, allowing them to change license plate numbers at will, enabling them to evade tolls and fines, and even forge others' plates. 2. Employees of the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, are concerned that the incoming Trump administration will cancel key cybersecurity programs and may even dissolve the agency. 3. The so-called pig butchering scam, which involves defrauding victims of cryptocurrency, is being called for a renaming by Interpol to avoid further harm to victims. 4. Drug dealers are advertising and selling drugs on public online platforms, a practice that is becoming increasingly popular in Europe. Summary. This issue of Wired magazine reports on several new developments related to cybersecurity and crime. Hackers have discovered a way to jailbreak digital license plates, allowing them to forge plate numbers and evade various fees and penalties. CISA employees are concerned that the incoming Trump administration may cancel key cybersecurity programs and even dissolve the agency. The so-called pig butchering scam is being called for a renaming to avoid further victim harm. Drug dealers are advertising and selling drugs on public online platforms, a practice that is becoming increasingly popular in Europe. These reports cover new developments in cybersecurity, financial crime, and drug trafficking, providing readers with comprehensive information. Briefing content. Recent research has found that interbreeding between humans and Neanderthals may have occurred more recently than previously thought. Scientists determined through genomic analysis that the mixing of the two species occurred between 45,000 and 47,000 years ago. This discovery provides a more precise timeline for human evolutionary history. Meanwhile, satellite data also shows that rising global temperatures are intensifying the severity and frequency of extreme weather events, such as droughts and heavy rainfall. Between 2002 and 2021, 1,066 regions worldwide experienced severe droughts or heavy rainfall, with the number of extreme events increasing since 2015. This trend is highly correlated with the rise in global average temperatures. Additionally, scientists have discovered a polyurethane material that can naturally degrade in seawater, providing a new approach to developing biodegradable marine plastics. This polyurethane has already been used to create some biodegradable land products, and it has now been shown to decompose in marine environments, which is significant for addressing marine plastic pollution. In summary, these latest research findings not only enrich our understanding of human evolution, but also provide new scientific evidence for addressing climate change and plastic pollution, holding important value for the sustainable development of human society. December 22, 2024 Newsweek briefing. Overview of the 2020 U.S. presidential election. During August, Democratic presidential candidate Biden led in the polls against Republican candidate Trump. However, Trump narrowed the gap following the Republican National Convention. Biden selected California Senator Kamala Harris as his running mate, raising some questions about Harris's qualifications, similar to the doubts raised about Obama's birth certificate at the time. Libertarian presidential candidate Jo Jorgensen experienced a bad attack incident and had to receive rabies prevention injections. The American Independent Party nominated California businessman Rocky de la Fuente as its presidential candidate and selected rapper Kanye West as his running mate, sparking some controversy. In summary, the 2020 U.S. presidential election presented a fiercely competitive landscape, with various candidates employing different strategies to secure votes. The article detailed these significant events, providing readers with comprehensive election information. Briefing. December 22, 2024. The Atlantic Monthly reports, the legacy of the Trump era and the direction of the new government. Article overview. During the 2020 U.S. presidential election, several third-party and independent candidates gained eligibility to run nationwide, including Libertarian candidate Jo Jorgensen and Unity Party candidate Bill Hammonds. They proposed some interesting policy suggestions, such as expanding the number of Supreme Court justices and preventing future court expansions. Additionally, in the Armenia-Azerbaijan Nagorno-Karabakh conflict, these candidates advocated for the U.S. to remain neutral and not intervene in other countries' internal affairs. During the COVID-19 pandemic, some public health experts, such as Marty Makary and Jay Bhattacharya, expressed views that diverged from mainstream opinions, criticizing the government's pandemic response measures. These experts are now expected to enter significant positions in the Trump administration, such as Secretary of Health and Human Services and FDA Commissioner. They will enter the government with anger and distrust from the past 5 years, which may influence future public health policies. The article notes that while Makary and Bhattacharya have made reasonable criticisms in some respects, they have also made mistakes, such as underestimating the severity of the COVID-19 virus. Furthermore, they have shown a tendency towards some less reliable theories, such as the notion that the virus originated from a lab leak. The individuals in the new government will have the opportunity to reform the public health system, but may also use their power to retaliate against those who have previously criticized them. In summary, the new government will enter power with strong dissatisfaction towards the past 5 years, which may influence the direction of future public health policies. Briefing. Theme: University of Illinois students launch Foreign Affairs magazine. Key information points. 1. A newly established student organization at the University of Illinois, Illinois Global Review, has launched the school's first Foreign Affairs magazine. 2. The magazine is divided into 6 regional sections, covering North America, Europe, Asia, Africa, South America, and Oceania. 3. The magazine aims to report accurate and valuable news information from around the world, providing students with a platform to discuss global affairs. 4. The magazine faced some challenges in its early stages, but has gained widespread attention and participation on campus through the efforts of its organizing leadership. 5. In the future, the magazine hopes to establish partnerships with relevant academic departments, inviting professors to contribute articles and further enhance its influence. Summary. The newly established student organization at the University of Illinois, Illinois Global Review, has launched the school's first Foreign Affairs magazine, covering news reports from around the globe and providing students with a platform to discuss international issues. Despite facing some challenges in its early stages, the magazine has gained widespread attention and participation on campus through the efforts of its organizing leadership. In the future, the magazine hopes to establish partnerships with relevant academic departments to further enhance its influence. Briefing. 1. The age of Saturn's rings is under debate. Japanese researchers propose that Saturn's rings may have formed simultaneously with the planet, potentially being much older than the previously estimated 100 to 400 million years, possibly billions of years old. This is because they discovered that Saturn's rings absorb cosmic dust at a much lower efficiency than previously assumed, only about 1%, which could extend the ring's existence. However, another researcher argues that this does not change previous conclusions, as their calculation methods are more complex and consider the processes of material entering and disappearing. 2. Human interbreeding with Neanderthals occurred earlier. New research indicates that gene flow between modern humans and Neanderthals may have occurred between 45,000 to 47,000 years ago, earlier than previously estimated. Through genetic analysis, scientists determined that this interbreeding process lasted multiple generations. Neanderthals are a stronger human species, sharing 1 to 2% of their genes with modern humans. 3. New developments in biodegradable marine plastics. Researchers at the University of California, San Diego, found that a polyurethane previously used for land biodegradable products can also degrade in seawater. Experiments showed that several marine bacteria and fungi attach to the polyurethane and break it down for their own nutrition. This polyurethane can be used to manufacture products like flip-flops, potentially reducing marine plastic pollution. 4. The transmission characteristics of the novel coronavirus are similar to influenza. Research indicates that the novel coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, spreads more like influenza than SARS. The virus can survive not only in the lower respiratory tract, but also in the upper respiratory tract, meaning asymptomatic carriers may also spread the virus. This may require different preventive measures than those used for SARS, more akin to those for influenza. In summary, these studies cover multiple fields, including planetary formation, human evolution, environmental protection, and disease prevention, providing us with new insights and understandings. December 22, 2024 Briefing, Smithsonian Magazine. Overview. This month's Smithsonian Magazine focuses on the 2020 U.S. presidential election, reporting on significant dynamics among candidates during the campaign process. The article details the intense competition between Democratic candidate Biden and Republican candidate Trump, while also introducing the performances of other third-party candidates. The report addresses hot topics such as the pandemic, climate change, and the Supreme Court, reflecting the complex situation of this historic election comprehensively. Key information points. 1. Democratic candidate Biden leads Trump in the polls, but Trump's support among Latino and elderly voters has increased. 2. Third-party candidate Jo Jorgensen successfully gained ballot access in all 50 states, becoming the first third-party candidate to achieve this since 2016. 3. Unity Party candidate Bill Hammonds proposed a new plan to prevent future court expansions, aiming to maintain the ideological balance of the Supreme Court. 4. Presidential candidates expressed their positions on the Armenia-Azerbaijan conflict, advocating for the U.S. to remain neutral and not intervene in other countries' internal affairs. 5. Trump's refusal to commit to a peaceful transfer of power sparked widespread criticism, being viewed as a threat to American democratic institutions. Summary. This issue of Smithsonian Magazine comprehensively reports on key events and candidate performances in the 2020 U.S. presidential election, highlighting important information points throughout the election process, and presenting a vivid electoral picture to readers. The article is rich in content and logically structured, providing readers with thorough and in-depth electoral information.